I'm sitting here with Jim Andrews, who's the owner, the president of AIE in Spokane, Washington. Um, the company erects major steel structures throughout the Pacific Northwest. And Jim also heads up his software company that he started with his son that is made for contractors, and it's about to launch. So 6 weeks ago, everything gets turned upside down. I guess my first question to you is, we've been implementing EOS into both your companies for the last 6 months. How has EOS helped you through this crisis?
It's been a huge help because it's given us the framework from which to bring stability and consistency to our operation. Doing the level 10 meetings every week and staying true to that. Which you've encouraged us, to do, and having some of those pieces in place enables you to hit a time like this. This is a terrible time to try to do, to change who you are. So it laid some groundwork. We're fairly new into it, but yet at the same time, it gave us that stability and framework from which to begin to operate on a really normalized basis. We also, as a result of this, it's been engaging in our monthly and quarterly meetings and our level 10 meetings. So to now then open that up and include more people and through the whole over communication process that's necessary in a time of crisis. It's all been incredibly helpful, and it's becoming more and more a part of our DNA.
And I'm so impressed because you have a real range of age on your management team. You have some younger people who can adapt to the technology faster. And then you have you've got some employees who are long in the tooth in terms of being around for decades with your company, and a couple of them on your management team. So how did you fare in terms of going from this hands-on construction company to where people had to work remotely?
It was adjustment for some. For me, the benefit was the fact that I had started the software company, which already operates remotely. And so for the last couple of years, my normal everyday weekly meetings is just a normal part of operation. We're always done remotely utilizing Zoom or Google Meets or other forms like that. So I'd gotten used to that. So when I saw this coming, we jumped in right away and started before most people had, and said, okay, we need to be prepared to go remotely, and we got everybody set up so that they could operate. And it hasn't been without issues, because of everybody's service providers being a little bit different. But the goal was to get everybody set up, and I think it's worked well enough where all of a sudden, there's probably a third of the staff that kind of likes it this way now. But that was helpful for me personally, that to have already been down that path. And now we're doing it with our superintendents and our field staff, and we've done some things that way that I think are going to stick. I've enjoyed the fact that we can have this conversation hundreds of miles apart as if we're sitting across the table from each other. And so I'm encouraging our project managers to meet our foremen and superintendents that way moving forward, to kind of have that personal touch on a more intimate weekly basis than they might unless they were actually visiting the job sites.
And so we just finished a quarterly with your eight member leadership team, and spent the whole day together on Zoom. A lot of business owners are like, I think I want to have that implementer there in person. But then you're postponing your quarterly in terms of the pulse and staying on top of the rocks. What would your advice be to them?
Stick to the routine. Stick to your time frames. There's no substitute for that. In fact, I've been looking forward to this time with you to just know, are we continuing down the right path, or do we need to make some adjustments, and what kind of perspective are you going to bring to that? But it's, as we came out of this today, and as you saw today, we actually are definitely moving the company forward, and that wasn't the obstacle, was not being in person. Every one of us were operating remotely today. We were able to move the ball forward.
Jim, I'm grateful. I like you, and I really like working for your team. Thanks a lot.
I'll really appreciate you and all you brought to us. So thank you.
Great.